Assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace and power. I'm back. Shout out to all the wise warriors. We growing. Remember, wise warriors, subscribe, send this to other wise warriors and also wise warriors on the rise. And make sure you stay tapped in by hitting that notification or that doorbell so when I do go live or drop a pre-recorded video, tapped in, all right? So listen up, wise warriors. This one is going to be a special one for all my wise warriors that have made it through or survived any type of physical sickness, cancer, AIDS, any disease that you could think of, anything, doesn't matter what that is, bipolar, schizophrenic, glaucoma, lupus, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, any type of liver transplants, liver disease, lung disease, whatever you could think of. You had to have hip replacement, knee replacement, whatever it is, you had to have something amputated. Whatever that may be, wise warriors, this video is for you or for a family member or a loved one or someone who may be currently in that situation or currently going through it. My hat's off to you and my heart goes out to you and your family that you guys can make it through these situations. Or if you guys are in the situation that you pull through, okay? And whatever medications or funding or Medicaid or healthcare or whatever you may have, I pray that that helps you get through your situation and those circumstances. Okay, so now let's get into it. It doesn't matter if you have any form of cancer. You don't care who your doctor is, as long as that doctor can get you back healthy or direct you in the right steps to become healthy by giving you the correct steps and or remedies to become healthier or to get back healthy. The right nutritionist, the right diet, or the right dietitian, the right medication, the right specialist. None of that matters. You just want to get healthy. So you don't care that doctor's a male or female. You don't care what hospital you got to deal with. You just want to get healthy. That's why I stress this, wise warriors. I don't do gender and nationality. Because when you're sick, you want to get back healthy. And you don't care. And should you be able to get back healthy, you may recommend that facility or that hospital or that doctor or those doctors or those specialists to a loved one or to a friend or to a co-worker. Because first and foremost, should you get back healthy, you're going to be humble and thankful. Then secondly, you're going to say, okay, they was very hospitable. They was calm. They was patient. They had tolerance. They showed dedication. They showed sympathy. They was nice to me and my family. They worked with whatever health care that you had. And the people they sent you to, other specialists or nutritionists or a dietitian or other doctors, or if you had to have any sort of surgery, you're going to think how they dealt with you because that helps on your road to recovery or getting back healthy. That's important. However, when you pay that mind, the doctor got to be white, the doctor got to be black, the doctor got to be Hispanic, the doctor got to be Asian, the doctor got to be Russian, the doctor got to be Jewish. The doctor got to be Ecuadorian or whatever cultures or nationality people say they looking for someone to be to deal with something or to deal with them. Don't restrict yourself. And I've been to hospitals. I've been through situations myself with loved ones. And that wasn't relevant when the person was sick. You just wanted them to get back healthy. You didn't look at that unless they was mistreated or they was given misinformation. Then it became relevant. But up until that point, you don't care. You like, I just want them to get back healthy. Don't matter what the doctor looked like. Another thing, when you're on your road to recovery, environment is key. Environment is key. Environment is key, meaning you want to have yourself or your loved ones in the right environment to be able to recover or be able to rehab or rehabilitate themselves so they can have the right mentality. They don't have to worry about crime, violence, noise, disrespect, people being rude, people being selfish. They're going to be worried about the environment they're in being clean, being calm, not being noisy. Because all that matters when you're recovering. When you're going through your rehabilitation process, all that's important. All that's important. Another thing that become important, whoever says, I'm going to be there with you, I'm going to be there for you, they have to understand through and through, logically and literally, how much time, dedication, and preparation that may take, and not do it to be selfish, to say, well, that's still my mother, that's still my father, that's still my brother, that's still my sister, that's still my son, that's still my daughter, that's still my aunt, that's still my uncle, that's still my niece, that's still my nephew, that's my husband, that's my wife, that's my girl, that's my fiance, that's my baby mom, that's my baby daddy. I got it. And now they're in the situation and they don't have it. And they don't have it. But they just upset or they emotional or they have control issues where it's like, but I don't like that hospital. I don't like those doctors. Okay, we're going to grant you that. But that don't mean they don't know what they're doing. That don't mean that facility won't get them back healthy. So they may need to stay in that hospital now, post-surgery, for another 2 weeks, another month, so they can get the necessary attention and or treatment they may need to get back healthy. That becomes important because it's like, but now they went home prematurely and now they went home. They was around nothing but noise. Or the environment they in is violence around. It's shootings all the time. Or the building they got to stay in. It's not secure enough for them to go back and forth. They don't have a ramp if they're in a wheelchair, or they're on crutches, or they're on a cane, or the elevators break down. All that become important. But when you just like, nah, so what? That's my family member, that's my loved one. We got it. I get it. You don't like maybe the way they dealt with you, or they interact with you as the loved one. However, if your loved one or the person that you have love for is becoming or getting healthy, let that go. Let your ego out the way and say, you know what? I might not like how they treat me, but my family member is, or my loved one is getting back healthy though. That's good. They got them on the right diet. It's enough discipline here. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. But what I'm going to do in between time, in the meantime, is I'm going to get the environment together so when they do come back home, that I'm going to do the best that I could do to make sure that they okay. I'm going to work on that. That becomes important. I'm going to make sure that the environment they're placed in, they're good. They don't have to deal with no extra stress, no extra headaches. I'm gonna make sure it's always clean, it's calm, it ain't noisy. And if people going back and forth, you gotta limit that. Like, look, grandma gonna be here, or grandpa gonna be here, or your father gonna be here, or your mother gonna be here, or your cousin gonna be here, or your sister gonna be here, or your brother gonna be here. Look, I can't keep having all this noise and this back and forth. Like, look, I gotta structure this environment. I gotta bring some stability because they're gonna be rehabbing. And I'm not trying to restrict anybody. However, I gotta have now this gotta be structured. Because to keep them healthy, you love them, I love them, we gotta sacrifice. We gotta sacrifice. That's what becomes important when you're talking about health, mental health. And when you're going through any recovery phase, some people take that lightly, but that's important. Another thing, when someone becomes sick or find out that they're sick, mentally, they take on a whole new level of stress because they're in uncharted territory. They never been diagnosed with whatever they may be diagnosed with. AIDS, HIV, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, glaucoma, multiple sclerosis, whatever it may be, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, whatever it is. And when you say you love this person, you're gonna have to sacrifice. So that means if you got a family, if it's your mom, or if it's your dad, and you have a family, you married, you might now have to tell your wife, look, I gotta put in some time with my folks, with my mom, or with my dad, or with my sister, or with my brother. I might not have as much time as I had to do the things that we do, go out, have family time. I'm gonna have to put in extra work. And in the beginning, you may think you could deal with it. Then it might trickle down to your job or your career. You might be like, you know what? I got this PTO. I gotta use this for my dad. I gotta use this for my mom. I gotta use this for my son, my daughter. You don't know how much time you're gonna have to put in. So you can't pre-assume that. Just say, no, don't worry about it, mom. I'm gonna ride it out. Then when you 6 months in, it becomes too much. When you a year in, it becomes too much. Like, Dad, I know, but I ain't think I would have to do this for 2 years. I ain't think I would have to do this for 18 months, Mom. You don't know. The doctors could tell you this may take a year and it may take 3. They could tell you it may take 3 years and it only take a year. They going off past experiences, even though this is a new person and a new experience, that's what they're going off. That's why they tell you everybody react to medication and things differently, surgery and all that differently. So, like I said, you could pre-assume this is going to take 8 months. It may take 18. You could pre-assume it's going to take 18 months and it may take 6. So be open-minded and understand that. So the point of this video is that when someone gets sick or diagnosed with something, that don't have no gender connected to it. Men and women could get sick and be diagnosed with the same thing, but the process is different. It's like I said, Wise Warriors, we all got to go on our journey, but our paths is different. Diabetes don't care if you black, if you white, if you Jewish, if you Asian, if you Hispanic, if you African, if you Haitian, if you Jamaican, if you Venezuelan. It don't care if you Mexican, if you Cuban. It doesn't care. Cancer doesn't care. It's not going to say, you know what, no, I only want to infect this group of people. Cancer don't care. HIV don't care. Old timers don't care. Heart disease don't care. Liver disease don't care. Lung disease don't care. It doesn't. not going to say, well, no, I don't even want to affect this group of people right here. Don't care. Doesn't care. So that's why I stress a lot about nationality, because it's things that don't care about that. See, people care more about it than those things I just said. Cancer don't care about nobody's nationality, though. So if somebody need a liver, and the person that needs the liver is black, and they say, yo, we only found people that match up with you that's white, with the person that's black not gonna want it. Vice versa, the person that's white need a liver. And they say, yo, we only found black people, they're gonna say, I don't want it. So they're gonna restrict themselves and possibly unalive them own selves because they don't like black people, or black people don't like white people, or white people don't like Jewish people, or Jewish people don't like Asian people, or Asian people don't like Hispanic people. Like, no, that's foolish. What matters is that person is the blood type and now that organ they need, they willing to give it to them. So shout out to all the wise warriors that's no longer with us that have donated body parts, that signed up to say, yeah, if I'm not here any longer, I'm willing to donate my liver, my lungs, my heart, my kidneys to somebody that may need it. See, those are the wise warriors that I take my hat off to. Those are the wise warriors that have set a precedent. Those are the wise warriors that's done something commendable. And they no longer with us. So you have wise warriors that are here, that are growing, that are evolving and ascending, but you have wise warriors that are no longer with us, that have sacrificed. I said, you know what? Nah, I'll sign up for that. They have been going through whatever they've been going through from a medical perspective, but they kept their head up. They stayed focused. They stayed committed. And they thought about wise warriors that was yet to come. Like I said, there's billions of people on the planet. Out of the billions of people on the planet, it may be 1 million wise warriors. It may be that. And I'm estimating that. Maybe. I'm talking about on the whole planet. Not in America or not in another country. On the whole planet. Because wise warriors are rare. It's not a lot. Some people are going to say, yeah, I'm a wise warrior, I'm a wise warrior. However, they want to take shortcuts. They don't want to do all the work. Remember, self-discipline, self-awareness, self-respect, self-control, self-love, self-care, self-accountability. So it's things that come with it, and you can't shortcut it. You made it this far, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you share. Also, wise warriors, remember, go back on some of the live streams. I know for a fact that it's some beneficial information for you. Also, wise warriors, remember, you share this with other wise warriors and wise warriors that's looking to become a wise warrior. We're almost to monetization, so keep the viewership high, wise warriors. Keep the viewership high. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the comment. Also, I'm looking forward to you guys coming back and sharing with other wise warriors. Remember, when someone becomes sick or gets sick, you're gonna have to sacrifice for yourself and or loved ones, wise warriors. Never forget that. And should you want to help out or put yourself in a situation to be helpful, remember, you're doing it and there's no reward involved. And you can't put a time stamp on someone's recovery time. Okay, wise warriors? So again, shout out to all the wise warriors. Peace and power. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Self-accountability, self-awareness, self-respect, self-control, self-discipline, self-love, self-care. All right, wise warriors, till next time. Peace, world.